Alright guys, what's going on? This is Raven Eyes here, and welcome to the channel. So, in the comments of one of my videos, there were some issues regarding having control over your, like, emulating the Xbox controller with your steering wheel. So, if you look right here, my steering wheel's doing, let me get in the car actually. So if you look right here, my steering wheel is doing absolutely nothing. That's because in the software, the x360ce Xbox emulator, Xbox controller emulator, I've completely unbound everything. So this is kind of like a fresh start. So, but yeah, I can't do anything right now. But you can see right here, this is my, the wheel I got is a Logitech G Pro wheel. So it's already self-straightening. I think so I used to own the G923. Well, actually I still do. It's somewhere in storage. But I think that also does the same thing. Like it'll auto straighten. So that's one thing. But he was having trouble with force feedback. Let me clear this out too, actually, since I'm starting fresh. I was messing around the software and I literally messed up everything. But this way we get to learn together again. But here you have you know, your default. This kind of works just like a general setting. This will work at all times, I guess, or whatever. I'm not really sure. But so say like there's a general controller binding, which is what I do. You can set this up, but if you want to add specific profiles to a specific game, you know, you go to your PC. You probably go to your local disk, program files, Steam, apps. Wait, am I dumb? Am I dumb? Steam. Common. Is it common? Common. Steam apps. Common, and then you get the, you know, you pick your game, whatever you want. I think I uninstalled that game. I have Pacific Drive in my other drive. Common, and yeah, this is Pacific Drive right here. And this way you can have specific controller settings for your very specific game. So you can see right here, it's already, it's loaded. I'm gonna delete that though, because, so you go into the, remember all these tabs, because you're gonna be going through them a lot. I'm gonna delete this, because I don't really care about having a specific profile. I'd rather use the generic one. But you can see right here, it's cleared out. I think it already, when I loaded that game, I already recognized my controller. But if you don't, here are your tabs for different controllers. I've only used one controller at a time anyway, so you want to enable it. Then you want to add, and make sure you look for the hardware that you're trying to use. So I'm going to use the Logitech wheel here. And if you have other devices, this is my handbrake. And say I want to bind. Oh, it's already out of bound. Oh, okay. So it remembered. So axis 6 right here is my handbrake. So when I pulled my handbrake, it'll, and you can see the A is like flashing right there. But yeah, if you want to bind it to something, you know, let me, and then that's how you bind it. We got a lot more to bind though. You can choose, like, if you know which specific input it is from. So like this is the right side, and you see the trigger, you can bind it by hitting record. And then I'm gonna step on the gas for, okay, it's not recognizing my, did I like destroy all opportunity? Maybe it's not enabled. Okay, it's not recognizing my controller. That's different. Oh, right. So make sure you click the specific device that you're trying to map. So because I only have one button for the handbrake, obviously I'm not going to be able to use multiple buttons. So this is the one button I'm using with my handbrake. So going back to the wheel, we have here's the trigger. Hit record, and I'm gonna step on the gas. And you can see my throttle input is going through pretty well. And you can click directly on the controller as well to map your controls. I'm gonna hit step on the brake for the left trigger, and you can see I'm stepping as hard as I can, and I can't even get all the way through, which is fine. What else? You can do this with any other controller. Most importantly, let's do the left stick, right? Because that's how you're going to steer. So click that, and that actually does both already. So you don't need to do left and right. And you can see it works. So again, my wheel already, it moves on its own already. And I'm not going to really mess with anything else. I will say this, for me, when I activate force feedback, I lose this option, so I'm not going to even enable it. But maybe if you experiment with it a little bit, you might be able to get your wheel to work if it's not working. It seems to have a lot of other controls, but I'm not going to really mess with this because I don't need to. Like this works fine, you know, for me. And again, outside of gameplay, my steering wheel already straightens out, even if I'm not in Pacific Drive or any game. Like if I just turn it on, it will already straighten back to center. And I think my Logitech G923 did the same thing. I'm not sure. I might plug that in at the end and test that out real quick. Anywho, let's go back to the game, and you can see right here, if I turn it all the way through, it's working. Let's see, RB, right bumper, left, right. I'm gonna bind this to my big button right there, so that way I can have an easier time. So I like doing this. And then you can see right here my brake, which is going backwards, and throttle is working just the way I like it. Let's see what else. Next we're gonna, so if we come back here, you can see like I'm turning my wheel, but it's not really turning, and that's because the inputs are so weak. And I'm using 1080 wheel rotation, so that's a bit, that's kind of a lot, but I'm gonna use the max because I have the option to. So if you want to adjust your sensitivity, you can, if you have the force feedback option, blah, I guess you can mess with this, but it's better to mess with the left thumbstick right here. So you got anti-dead zone, which I think that's what I use, because if you look right here, like, well, okay, that didn't do anything. So what's important specifically is the sensitivity right here. You're gonna want to increase the sensitivity, right? But right here, if you notice, it's actually becoming less sensitive. So as I input it, the default was a higher value. So you're gonna hit invert. I think it was like around 70. I'm not really sure. 66, 65. I don't know. You're gonna want to mess with this as much as you can. But if I go here, you can see it's like just turning the wheel can mess with how you navigate your menus. But increasing the sensitivity helps my steering a bit more, which is great. That's what we want. Maybe a little bit more sensitivity. I'm gonna bring it up to 88. But as you can see right here, now I'm messing with the, you can hear the, well, if I, okay, maybe you can't. Let me do this real quick. Let me activate my in-game audio. But you can hear, this can mess with your navigating through menus and stuff if you just have your wheel just slightly turned. So you don't want that, so you're gonna give it a bit of a dead zone. Let's see, or anti-dead zone. I think I did some anti-dead zone also. And a little bit of a dead zone, just a little bit, maybe like 5%, 10, 10, whatever. But you can see right here, it's not messing with me anymore. If I hit, go back, resume, okay. Resume game. If I move the wheel a little bit, there is a bit of a dead zone. I personally don't like that. I'm gonna bring it down to 5. I'm gonna keep the wheel straight as possible if I'm navigating menus. But now, I like that. I like that a lot. And yeah, that's how you adjust your thumbstick sensitivity. Your steering is pretending to be a thumbstick. So this is what you can do. Next, just to double check again, if you did pick a game for a specific profile, make sure you find it in your Steam apps and find the .exe. Make sure you enable your controller. Make sure you find your, ooh, I didn't know about this. Make sure you find your hardware, and then when mapping the controls, I'm not gonna lie, this is a lot to take in. But when you're mapping your controls, make sure you click the specific hardware. That way, so here I'm hitting record and I'm stepping on my gas and it's not working. It's not mapping it. And that's because I didn't select it. That's pretty much it. That's all I do. I'm not sure if force feedback is required, but this is what happens when I enable force feedback. I enable it and, oh, it works, actually. Really? It's working. Maybe because I'm in game. You know what? We're gonna try this out. 28%. It didn't do anything, at least for me. I'm gonna disable it because I don't need it. But if you need it, maybe play with that in case if your wheel is not working. Maybe that will trigger the motors to kind of center the wheel. But yeah, if this helps, and this should help if you want to play, it's raining, other games that kind of have like a driving aspect to it, but there's no wheel support. I think I've seen people play like emulated games like Burnout Paradise from like a console emulator. A couple old Need for Speed games. They use this software and helps them emulate that controller and get that sort of force feedback feel. Anyways, if this helps, give it a like, comment, subscribe. Maybe if anyone else can help each other out in the comment section, because I do have this very specific wheel that maybe not a lot of people would use in comparison to Thrustmaster or the entry-level Logitech wheels. Because this is my wheel of choice. I don't want to undo this whole setup just to change back to my G923. Yeah, if this helps, give me a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you.